Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to learn determination of dryness fraction. Now dryness fraction is nothing but, already we have seen, dryness fraction is nothing but represented by quality, which is nothing but x. It is also called quality, which is also called quality and represented by x, and this dryness fraction is nothing but mass of vapor divided by mass of liquid plus mass of vapor. Again, mass of vapor is represented by mg suffix g divided by mass of liquid represented by suffix f mf plus mg. This is called dryness fraction, and the value of dryness fraction stands between 0 to 1, that already we have seen, right? Now my dear students, to determine this dryness fraction we have throttling calorimeter. Right? Throttling calorimeter. This throttling calorimeter is used to determine dryness fraction. Now here let us determine this throttling dryness fraction with the help of throttling calorimeter. Now let us say there is a boiler. In steam turbine there will be a boiler always. Let us say here there is a boiler, right? Boiler means in this boiler heat is supplied to the fuel. In this boiler we will supply heat to the fuel. Here heat is supplied, dq, right? So that because of this heat supply, the in this boiler liquid will convert into vapor form, vapor state. And now whatever may be the vapor state converted into boiler, this is wet state. Now let us say from this boiler some vapor will come, right? Here let us say it is at pressure P1 and temperature T1, and this one condition is wet state. This will be in wet region. That means the dryness fraction will be equal to 0 to 1. Right? And my dear students, after this steam, now after this process, this steam, which is nothing but wet steam, is passed through throttle wall. There will be a throttle wall. This is a throttle wall. Right? After throttling, the condition, let us say after throttling, the condition is P2 and T2. After throttling, the condition is P2 and T2. And my dear students, after throttling, the steam must be in superheated state. And this process is done to calculate dryness fraction. Now let us find how the dryness fraction is calculated with the help of this concept. Now my dear students, here pressures can be measured easily. Now to measure pressure we have manometers, and to measure temperature we have thermometers, right? So temperature before throttling and pressure before throttling is measured. Pressure is measured and temperature is measured, and after throttling measure the pressure and temperature. But take a care that after throttling the steam must be in superheated state, and before throttling it is in wet state, right? Now my dear students, here therefore we have values of P1 and T1, and we know that this state is wet state. Therefore from steam table calculate the values of hf1, right? Calculate the values of hf1 and hg1 at state 1, and enthalpy at 1 will be h1 is equal to, at 1 will be hf1 plus x hg1 minus hf1. This will be the enthalpy at 1, right? Similarly you have pressure P2 and temperature T2, but this state is superheated state. So my dear students, from superheated steam table calculate enthalpy H2. From superheated steam table at pressure P2 and temperature T2 calculate enthalpy H2. And my dear students, the meaning of throttling is nothing but, in case of throttling, enthalpy always remains constant. Throttling is nothing but isenthalpic process. Therefore after throttling and before throttling enthalpy is same. Therefore I can say H1 is equal to H2, and H1 is nothing but hf1 plus x hg1 minus hf1, and these values are at pressure P1 and temperature T1 is equal to H2, and H2 is at pressure P2 and T2 from superheated steam table. Therefore by equating this we will get quality of steam, that is dryness fraction. From this we will get H is equal to, x is equal to H2 minus hf1 divided by hg1 minus hf1. This is how hf1 here. This is how we can calculate dryness fraction with the help of throttling calorimeter. Now my dear students, this throttling operation is very much important in refrigeration subject, because in VCR cycle, vapor compression refrigeration cycle, for expansion throttling is used. Now my dear students, throttling. Let us understand the few things about throttling. Throttling process. Throttling process is also called isenthalpic process. It is also called isenthalpic process. Isenthalpic process. Right. Now here I am going to dictate you some points regarding throttling process. These points already you have seen in entropy topic as well as first law of thermodynamics, right, where you have done the calculation for throttle wall, right, as well as few calculations you will learn in refrigeration subject. Here only I am dictating you results, right. For throttling process, very first parameter enthalpy remains constant. For throttling process, enthalpy remains constant. Now second parameter, due to throttling, pressure always decreases. That means pressure at the end of throttling is always less than pressure at the start of throttling, right. Due to throttling, pressure always decreases, and due to throttling, enthalpy always remains constant. Now third point, due to throttling, quality always increases, dryness fraction always increases. Because of this, as dryness fraction is increasing, means vapor content is increasing. Therefore, as vapor is increasing, specific volume is increasing. Due to throttling, specific volume always increases. And my dear students, density is nothing but reciprocal of specific volume, right? Specific volume is volume divided by mass. Density is mass divided by volume. Mass divided by volume. Therefore, density is a reciprocal of specific volume. And as specific volume is increasing, hence we can say due to throttling, density always decreases. Right? These are the always terms. Due to throttling, enthalpy is always constant, pressure always decreases, dryness fraction or quality always increases, specific volume always increases, density always decreases. And my dear students, throttling is highly irreversible process. This throttling is highly irreversible process. Hence, because of this throttling, entropy of universe always increases. Right? Because of this irreversibility, entropy is a measure of irreversibility. Therefore, because of this throttling, as it is highly irreversible process, entropy of universe always increases. Very important, right? Now let us understand what will happen to the temperature. Now number one, for steam, right, due to throttling, temperature always decreases. For steam, due to throttling, temperature always decreases. Number two, for ideal gases, steam is not ideal gas. For ideal gases, due to throttling, temperature is always constant. For ideal gases, due to throttling, temperature is always constant. Number three, for real gases, due to throttling, temperature change depends on the Joule-Thomson coefficient. Due to throttling, for real gases, temperature may increase, may decrease, or may remain constant. That depends on the Joule-Thomson coefficient. So in refrigeration topic, we are going to see Joule-Thomson refrigeration, where we will define Joule-Thomson coefficient. Joule-Thomson's coefficient. This coefficient we are going to define in refrigeration subject, where there is a method of refrigeration called Joule-Thomson refrigeration. This Joule-Thomson coefficient is represented by mu, which is nothing but change in temperature with respect to change in pressure at constant enthalpy. Means for throttling process, what is the temperature and pressure behavior? Change in temperature with respect to change in pressure at constant enthalpy is called Joule-Thomson coefficient. Now, my dear students, we have seen due to throttling is nothing but due to throttling, enthalpy is always constant and pressure always decreases. That means due to throttling, pressure change in pressure is always negative, right? Due to throttling, pressure change is always negative. Now my dear students, when your Joule-Thomson coefficient is positive, here pressure change is always negative, therefore temperature change must be negative. Therefore, for this, temperature change is negative, means change in temperature is negative, means temperature is decreasing. When your Joule-Thomson coefficient is positive, due to throttling, temperature decreases. And my dear students, for steam, Joule-Thomson coefficient is positive. For steam, Joule-Thomson coefficient is positive. Again, if this Joule-Thomson coefficient is negative, right, then see here, dP is always negative. Therefore, dt must be positive. Positive divided by negative is negative. Therefore, for this case, change in temperature will be positive. That means due to throttling, temperature always increases. For this case, when your Joule-Thomson coefficient is negative, and when your Joule-Thomson coefficient is 0, that means it is ideal gas. For ideal gases, Joule-Thomson coefficient is 0. That means numerator is 0. That is change in temperature is 0. That means change in temperature is 0. Therefore, temperature remains constant when enthalpy also remains constant. Thank you, dear students. In next lecture, we will understand what is the phase change of ice.